Bellator 271. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Smash that like button, guys. Let's get at least 150 likes on this Bellator 271 breakdown. Much love to everybody tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. Turn those post notifications on. We got a pretty good Bellator card to go over. So let's get into it. First fight of the night. Mohamed Fauzi Sebie versus Ethan Hughes. Mohamed is very popular on social media. This guy's got 1 million followers, and for good reason. Olympic Greco-Roman wrestler. I think Mohamed does win this matchup here against Ethan Hughes. Looking at Ethan Hughes, though, I mean, he's got a good amount of experience, through the amateur and the pro ranks. He does bring in an okay striking game, has pretty good forward pressure in his stand-up. Will look to clinch up and wrestle sometimes. Now, from footage, I've seen him taken down by much lesser wrestlers than Mohamed. On the ground, he's around a BJJ blue belt. Mohamed Fauzi is a monster with his wrestling game. And you look at his MMA fights, he's got one fight also in Jorge Masvidal's Game Bred Fighting Championship, bare knuckle. But look at the two pro bouts. They were against, debuting guys, lesser experienced guys. And then when he went over and fought in bare knuckle, he fought Eric Thompson, who does have a decent amount of experience. I mean, bad record, 9-20, but he's got a lot of fights. Domination for Mohamed. I expect the same here. The wrestling level difference is so clear. Mohamed Fauzi Sebie, KO, TKO, ground and pound, round number 1. Looking at the betting odds, widespread as expected for Mohamed. Minus 550, plus 400. I like Mohamed Fauzi Sebie win by KO, TKO in the first round. Good prospect to start the night off. Next one, middleweight. Jordan Newman, Shane O'Shea. I like Jordan Newman, of course, here, but we can't just write off Shane. I mean, this guy's got 6 pro bouts to his credit. He's a pretty rangy kickboxer. He uses that lead hand well as a rangefinder. We've seen him taken down before and been in bad positions, survives, and is able to come back and win. He's a pretty proven, durable fighter with a good comeback ability. Jordan Newman is an outstanding wrestler, but he's also really improved his striking game. Trains over at Rufus Sport, great coaches over there. I feel like Newman also being the southpaw will pose a bit of a stand-up threat more than maybe what's expected for O'Shea here. Good athlete too with Newman. I don't think that he's going to run right through O'Shea. I think he's going to be forced into a difficult fight. I mean, you look at the recent wins, 3 as a pro, Joseph Holmes, Ryan Miller, and in the last one, Branko Busick. Does he continue his finish trend? I'm thinking late KO, TKO, 3rd round for Jordan Newman, but I could also see this fight going the distance here. Newman's a strong favorite, which is pretty expected. Find him here. Minus 500. To plus 375. I like that minus 500 favorite, and it's super widespread. I think it could be a little bit closer, but obviously O'Shea is here to lose in Bellator. They're really expecting their prospect Newman to get it done. Good second fight of the night. Keep on going. Valerie Loureda, Taylor Turner. Some women's flyweights. Loureda, really hot prospect. Got her first loss, unfortunately, in the last one. I do think she wins this bout, but it's not an easy fight against Taylor Turner. There's a huge height advantage, 6 inches. Also brings a 7-inch reach advantage. Now, you look at the record of Turner, it's not a good one. It's a losing record. 5 wins with 7 losses. Does have a win over Heather Hardy, who's a pretty decent professional boxer that transitioned to MMA, which, I mean, shows that Turner is a capable fighter. She brings in a pretty decent grappling game, strong in the clinch. Does have a loss to Alejandra Lara, I believe, in Bellator recently. Yeah, she was dominated on the ground in that fight. Turner also has an okay stand-up game. She's a rangy kickboxer. I mean, being 5'10" at 125 pounds, that's huge. Now, Valerie Loureda is a tremendous striking prospect. She's really talented with her kickboxing, brings in that Taekwondo background, and it's evident. She does pretty unique kicks. She also good athlete and has developed good grappling skills too. I believe she'll get inside of the taller girl Turner. I think it could be a dirty fight. Lots of clinch battling. Loureda will have some moments on the feet. Valerie Loureda, I do think she wins it by a hard-fought decision. I think she gets it done. The odds for this matchup, widespread. Minus 425 Loureda, plus 325 Taylor Turner. I like Loureda here, but the bet wouldn't be great because she is in a tough fight against a experienced 38-year-old in Taylor Turner. Loureda for the win by decision. Next fight, Cody Law versus Colton Hamm. I do think Cody Law gets it done. 4-0 prospect. Also Hamm jumping a weight class from bantamweight previously. Looking at the stylistic matchup, Hamm brings in a pretty interesting style. He's a bit of a wild man with his striking. Loopy punches, his chin comes up high, but he can scrap and he's down for it. Wrestling is pretty decent, and I mean, he starts quickly, but Cody Law on the opposite side has a clearly better wrestling game. He's a tremendous wrestler, and he also has improving stand-up. You look at the kickboxing, it's really started to develop. Now, at times, we'll overreach a bit, but a lot cleaner striking than Colton Hamm here, and he also has the wrestling edge. Watch out for the kicks of Law. The straight punches are good. The wrestling, of course, is good. I think Cody Law gets a win here. I think he's going to run through Colton Hamm. KO TKO round number 2 for Cody Law in this matchup. I do think he definitely gets the finish. Minus 1,400, plus 700. The bookies know what's up here, and they have made this fight non-profitable, really, unless you are throwing a amount of money that I would not recommend you do at it. Not even really worth a parlay with Cody Law, but I definitely do think he beats Colton Hamm by KO TKO, and I do think second round. Roman Faraldo, Robert Turnquest. Faraldo's a good prospect. I do think he wins here, and I do think he gets the finish too. Turnquest, extremely experienced, 11-7. You look, I mean, pretty okay striker. A bit of a square Thai style stand-up game, and he's a little flat-footed at times, but he likes to bang, does have decent power in his hands, in an okay game everywhere. Faraldo, though, clearly faster. Faraldo's a damn good striker. Excellent, crisp boxing. He does have knockout power to go along with that boxing speed that he brings to the table, and he closes distance extremely well. He's also the taller man of the two, so range advantage for him here. I expect him to pick apart the 38-year-old Robert Turnquest. KO TKO, I do think early second round for Roman Faraldo. Second round KO TKO. Could see it in the first two. Definitely a knockout. And Faraldo getting it done by KO, beating Robert Turnquest. And the odds, I mean, they're going to be what you'd expect them to be. Minus 600, plus 400. Faraldo for the win, but a very widespread favorite on the betting lines. Next one. Featured prelim of the night. Bruna Ellen versus Desiree Dirty Des Yanez. Women's flyweight action between decent girls. I think that Yanez can actually come through with a potential upset here. She brings in a southpaw stance and a very pressure-heavy clinch style and wrestling game. She's going to look to put her opponent against the cage, control her from there, get takedowns. She's okay with the striking. On the opposite side, Ellen, bit better with the stand-up game. Does have some nice kicks and pretty nasty low kicks, really. I think Yanez needs to be cautious not to just stand in there and trade with Bruna Ellen. She likes to close distance with right hands as well, and she is down for a good scrap. Yanez needs to get control of her. Body lock, put her against the cage, work for takedowns, work for control, work towards a decision. I do think she does that. Yanez win by a decision. I expect it to be clinch heavy if she does get it done. The odds have Yanez at plus money. Plus 185, Desiree Yanez. Bruna Ellen, minus 225. Women's underdog here. It's women's MMA, so don't go nuts because the craziest things sometimes do happen, but granted, crazy things happen with all MMA. But I think Yanez wins by a decision in an upset over Bruna Ellen in this matchup. And now, the main card. If you guys haven't yet, smash the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new and turn those post notifications on as well. And let's get into the first one. Steve Mowry, Rakim Cleveland. I am pumped to see these heavyweights go at it because Mowry's a prospect. But this is a serious jumping competition. I pick Rakim Cleveland to upset Steve Mowry here. You look at the stylistic matchup. Mowry is a tall and long kickboxer. He's got pretty nasty low kicks and puts a nice patient presser on his opponents. Also known for a decent grappling game. Some solid top control. He's a big man at 6'8". And if he gets on top of you, there's a lot of mass to move there. Now, granted, a little bit stiff. Could potentially get hit by Rakim Cleveland because Cleveland, he's a tricky southpaw. He's pretty confident in his stand-up. He's a very confident striker. Nasty kickboxing skill set. Watch out for his straight right hand. He also has lightning fast head kicks that he can throw at you, and they're sneaky. You're not going to see him coming. He knocked out his last opponent with a brutal head kick. Physically, he's strong too, and he's pretty solid with his Muay Thai, especially in the clinch. Wrestling-wise, I would say he's decent. Not an easy fight for Mowry, and the odds are extraordinarily widespread in his favor. Minus 500 to plus 375. You have a PFL veteran in Rakim Cleveland. You got a guy on a 3-fight winning streak. He's 32. He's not an old heavyweight. He's not a small heavyweight either. He's more in weight than Steve Mowry. I mean, his last fight, he was 263. He's at a disadvantage of height by a fair amount here, but the reach is only 2-inch difference. I think Rakim Cleveland surprises Steve Mowry on the feet. He's a little too stiff. I think he gets caught by big punches, gets knocked out in the second round. I am going the underdog, Rakim Cleveland, by KO, round number 2 in this heavyweight fight to start this main card off. Damn fun one. Next one, Arlene Blencowe versus Pam Sorenson, women's featherweight contenders here. I think Blencowe does get it done against Pam. Looking at this fight, Sorenson is a pretty strong striker. He's got a Thai background, very light on her feet, and does have some decent straight punches. Solid wrestling and submission game as well. And when she gets on top, she's hard to shake off. On the opposite side, Blencowe is a very aggressive striker with a solid kickboxing base. Her hands are fast. She does have good combination punches, a good jab, which goes a long way in mixed martial arts. Fast movement too, and she can mix it up nicely. I like the stand-up a lot for Blencowe. I think she could stop grappling attacks by Pam Sorenson here. I think high likelihood that she does. She's a physically strong girl with a decent ground game too. I like Blencowe win by a decision over Pam Sorenson in this matchup. Blencowe is the favorite, minus 175. Pam Sorenson, the plus 145 underdog. I like Blencowe, the favorite in this matchup. Win by decision with these ladies. The featured bout of the night, and it's action. Aaron Pico, Justin Gonzales. 8-3, real deal prospect that's getting, hyped up as a future champion and has been since he started, versus a 12-0 Justin Gonzales. He's a Contender Series veteran, winning Bellator in the last one against Taiwan Claxton, but this is a real step up in competition. Aaron Pico fought high-level competition from the start. He is an elite prospect. I think he wins the fight. I think Aaron Pico is going to put it on Justin Gonzales, but you can't really go out there and just absolutely sleep on Gonzales here. He's a former LFA champion. He's pretty solid with this kickboxing and puts a good pressure on his opponents, has skilled wrestling in his own right, and does have some power in his hands. Now, on the opposite side, Aaron Pico is a phenomenal boxer who closes distance at a very high level. Also mixing in the wrestling now to his game. It makes his boxing more dangerous when you're extremely worried about the takedown, and he can also mix it up with the hands. You have a guy that can really do big things in the sport of mixed martial arts. He's a super athlete too. Aaron Pico win, KO, TKO. I do think third round. I feel like Gonzales will last a bit with him here, but he's going to be outclassed. Aaron Pico for the win, KO, TKO, round number 3, and the odds are wide. Minus 340 for Pico, plus 265 for Justin Gonzales. It's interesting to see a 12-0 fighter be this big of an underdog, but it's against Aaron Pico, and that's certainly why. Pico for the win, KO, TKO, round 3. Co-main event, Tyrell Fortune, Linton Vassell. I do think Fortune wins, but this is a difficult matchup. Linton Vassell is a rangy kickboxer. He's a tall guy at 6'4". He's got an 82-inch reach, and he's also decent with his ground skills as well. His hands, though, are definitely nice. Good boxing, solid low kicks, does have power. Now, being against a wrestler, we've seen Vassell overwhelmed by wrestlers in the past. Tyrell Fortune is going to be hell to deal with for him. He's a beast of a wrestler, very quick starter, and has a very solid amount of pressure he'll put on you when he gets on top. He's going to be hard to shake when he gets in top position. He's developed better stand-up. He's improving, and, he's not a huge heavyweight, so he's got good speed and mobility. He's developing, I'd say, a very well-rounded game. I feel like the speed might actually be Tyrell Fortune's way here. I feel like Tyrell gets the win. I think he's going to beat Linton Vassell by a decision. I expect a hard-fought win for Tyrell Fortune. He's going to be tested here, and he's going to be forced to answer some questions. Can he take a big punch? I know Tim Johnson slept him with a shot that he did not see coming, but can he take a shot from Linton Vassell? I believe he will. Tyrell Fortune win by decision over Linton Vassell, and what's not an easy matchup for the 11-1 heavyweight. -170, +140. I do like those odds. They're a lot closer. They're more playable. And that just shows the danger of Linton Vassell here, the former light heavyweight, who has looked better up a weight class at heavyweight. Look at recent fights. He lost to Moldavsky, which is a totally fair loss. He beats Karatanov, and he beats Honey Marks. The last 3 for Fortune. Win over Matt Mitrione. A little bit controversy with the headbutt, but still a win. Beat up Jack May easily. And he also beat Saeed Salma by a decision, who's now emerging as a heavyweight contender himself with a win over Vitaly Minakov. I like Tyrell, win by decision over Linton Vassell in the co-main event. Let's get to the main. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. It's Cris Cyborg versus Sinead Kavanagh. I have Cris here. We know what we get with Cris Cyborg, but what do you get from Kavanagh? You know, you get a girl who's pretty solid on her feet. I mean, she mixes up boxing nicely. She's nasty with the stand-up. Does have a pretty nice jab. Also has good straight punches too. And I will say, she brings a power threat as a boxing background. And she hits hard. A little bit of looping shots at times, but she brings the pop with it. Also has good flurries when she gets in close. Okay, ground game, has been taken down a bit in the past. Cyborg on the opposite side really doesn't have a weakness. She's an excellent boxer with dangerous power. I mean, she can put your lights out in one shot. She's got good speed, big hooks when she gets inside, and she's also a really skilled grappler. Super physically strong, a beast to deal with. It's going to be hell for Kavanagh here. If she shows any possibility of hurting Cyborg in the stand-up, easily Cyborg can turn that around, landing takedowns and getting on top. I got Cris Cyborg win, KO, TKO, round number 3. Look for her to mix it up with striking and wrestling, hurt Kavanagh, and put her away in the 3rd round. Cris Cyborg, I do definitely think she gets it done, and she's a -1,600 favorite to the +800 dog. I like that -1,600 favorite, Cris Cyborg. It's not a fun bet. It's not a nice-looking bet, but I do think she runs through Sinead Kavanagh in 3 rounds here, KO, TKO in the 3rd. Defending her belt, and still one of the best, maybe the number 2 women's featherweight on the planet outside of, Amanda Nunes, who did beat her, and unfortunately we never got the rematch there. Cris Cyborg, I see her getting it done in dominant fashion against a difficult contender, Sinead Kavanagh. Overall, fun Bellator card, one I am looking forward to. We got this week's best MMA bets coming out where we'll go way deeper with the betting. Also have a weigh-in recap for Bellator and UFC. Make sure to tune into that. If you haven't caught the UFC predictions yet, I'll link them in the description. Make sure to check those out. Much love to everybody who tunes into the show. Smash the likes, subscribe if you're new, and turn on those post notifications too. Much love to my continued supporters, every which one of you. I really love you guys. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.